And welcome, everybody. It is day number 2 of the JVology holiday giveaway with my co-host, Cherise Alexander. How are things going for you today, Cherise?
Great. How are things going for you, Krista?
Doing fantastic. It has been a super busy day at JVology from my perspective, and doing a lot of activities, a lot of things going on. We've got a mastermind happening as we speak with our premium clients. So there's just a tons happening, trying to wrap things up during this last week or so that people can take time and enjoy the holiday break, which I'm encouraging everybody to do, which also means don't reach me.
Which also means the team is also going to be going on a break, which we work kind of unusually here at JVology. At least I know I do. Yeah. I'm so used to having a 9-to-5 job that I usually do all work related things in the evenings, like into the middle of the night. And even though I'm now full-time in my business, I still do that. So I'll often message the team at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. my time, which means it's way later. It's like 3 a.m. Krista's time. Whenever I'm reaching out, and people are always responding back to me, which amazes me because I'm like, no, wait till everybody's awake. And then when everyone's awake, I'm still asleep. But anyways, it's going to be really great for us as a team to have a little bit of a break as well. So that way we can come back really refreshed and rejuvenated and excited to keep serving. And one of the ways that we're serving right now today, which I'm so excited about, is by interviewing our contributors for the JVology holiday giveaway. Today's day 2. We had day 1 yesterday. You can find that replay link in the Facebook group, on Jay's page, on the YouTube channel, or wherever you're watching this right now. But today is day 2 of this experience, and I'm really excited about our lineup today.
I am too. I love that we make the interview process a part of the holiday giveaway. There's plenty of giveaways where you just go on the website and pick some gifts. But I think it's just so special to have people on so that you as a viewer, you're getting the opportunity to meet our experts, hear from them, learn right here on the spot, and then also just decide whether that gift's going to be the one that's going to help you improve your life, your business, your health, your wealth, and go, hey, I definitely want to take advantage of that and go hunt it down.
Exactly. And so what the point of these interviews is to really help you laser focus on which gifts you want. Because you may want all of them because they're all really good. And honestly, every time we do this, I'm always like, ooh, I kind of want all of them too. But which ones are you going to actually use? Like, use before the year is over. Which ones are you going to actually use? And that is the point of these interviews. So you can see who's in it, hear them talk about their passion, their backstory, and their gifts and how you can use it. So that way you can make really educated decisions on the gifts that you want. So speaking of bringing up our fabulous contributors, we have our first contributor here. So we're going to go ahead and bring her up to the stage. And I want to say hello and welcome to Kathy.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Great, Kathy. Nice to have you joining us today. Our professional organizer, Kathy Burns, is in the house. So, wow. Organization around the holidays. Those things seem like they go really well together. I think the timing is perfect for this. So before we jump into the gift or any of that, I want to hear, how did you get into this field?
That's a long backstory, but to make a short story out of it, I've been a travel writer and then a licensed boat captain. So both of those jobs for years had me living out of a suitcase or out of a duffel bag. So I learned how to live small quickly and be able to find the things that I needed, but being very minimal. And when I would get back to shore after being out to sea for a while, I would get to my apartment and realize that none of that stuff really had any significance to me. Like, I'd be out to sea, I wouldn't even care about any of it. So when I got back, I would just start purging, and I would feel better and better. And it was easier to pack to leave for the next trip. So I think innately, just through my other careers as both travel writer and licensed captain, I learned how to live small, and I know the energy that you get around having space, which is why my company was called Add Space to Your Life, my first organizing company. So I know if you have space, you can thrive.
Oh, I love that. That's a very interesting backstory about being a sea captain and that the small condensed spaces of being on a boat. So I'm glad I asked.
So along with those lines, organization, as Krista pointed out, is really important, especially during the holidays. But I want to know, is there a specific type of person that really you love working with or works best with you and your company when it comes to your organizational products and services?
I love working with women entrepreneurs, women who are very smart and savvy, but maybe they're artistic creative and don't necessarily have the organizing gene, because I'm an artistic creative organizer. So I get the artists, I get the creators, because that's what I am as well. But we all need systems in place to back us up and support us. And, if we don't have the systems, and oftentimes, we're stuck in the muck of our own stuff. We can't see what's broken or what's not working. So the clients that I love to work with are really smart, savvy entrepreneurs who get it, but they can't quite see it, but yet they know how to implement it. Once they see it, they're like, oh, okay. And they're implementers. They actually take action and do things.
And what are the benefits of organizing your space? Like, how do people feel when they've finished that?
Well, you get energized. You have more time you have more time for family and fun. You have more time to do what you really want to do in your business, and you're not stuck in the muck of your stuff, so to speak. What I lovingly call whack-a-mole management goes away. So you're not just going pound, 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 trying to, keep everything under control. You're actually proactive and know what you're doing in your business, and you know the steps to use to move forward. And your daily stress level, I have one of my clients, before, she's very successful, but her stress level on a daily was 9 to 10 every day. And she didn't have the systems put into place to support her. She was brilliant at what she did. But once we put in a few systems into her life, and that's what with this offer, the little 7-day course that you can download for free, then she actually was able to increase her business tenfold. And she tells me now her daily stress level is 1 to 2, depending on the day.
That's amazing. Tenfold?
Tenfold, yeah.
That's a lot.
So she had more clients than what she could handle when we first met. And once she got the systems into place, her clients just fell right in and she was able to do it.
Excellent. I love that. Well, we'd love to hear about your gift. So let's let you dive right in and let us know who it's for and what that gift is.
Okay, it's the 7 days to an organized and energized life. And basically it allows people to create essential daily habits within their life. And this is perfect for the end of the year, because as you know, we're all probably doing into retrospect and what could I do better? This 7-day course will let you really start visualizing and streamlining what you want to create for the new year in 7 days. So it creates daily habits for you. It helps you it boosts your energy and confidence. You will see what systems you might need to support you and be able to add the systems in for the support. And it's basically also accountability. So within this system, you receive an email every day that helps you do building blocks into your business. And, it's short and it's quick, but it's pretty profound. And what I found over the years being an organizer is that the simplest things are the ones that have the largest effect. And so if you just implement small, little, simple things, they multiply in your life. And then all of a sudden, wow, okay, I can see clearly now. I have more time. The idea is that we don't want to work 7 days a week, right? We want to actually streamline our life and our business so that we can end the day on Friday feeling good and know that we don't have to feel guilty about not working on Saturday or Sunday or even taking Monday off. Most importantly, we know what's going to happen on Monday because we've pre-planned the week. So the week doesn't jump onto you. Basically, when you jump back into the week, the following week, you know what you're supposed to be doing, and you can do it with clarity of purpose, which is really the most important thing, right? Being clear on what you should be doing and also being clear on what you should not be doing.
That's always an important piece. I do a lot of work about clearing your space, clearing your possible leap. So, deciding what you should not be doing is an important part of it. So you've got these 7 steps here. I'd love to hear like what's one you can teach us right here and now.
Okay. Well, the first one is pre-plan your day. Okay. So don't walk into your day not knowing what you're going to do. Before you sit down at your desk, I would have loved the day before to kind of have a little list of this is what I want accomplished. The Ivy Lee method is awesome where you put your top 5 tasks that you want to get done for each day on a notepad. And when you go into the day, you're going to do the one you don't want to do most first, and you're going to knock it off. And then that way, at the end of the day, you actually know what you did. How often do we as entrepreneurs finish the day and say, what did I do? I don't know what I really did today. You were busy, right? What I call being stuck in busyness, but not getting anything really done or crossed off your task list. So definitely know what you're doing before you start the day.
That's great. Now I see there's a book behind you. Can you tell us about your book?
Okay. That's the first book that I wrote. It's called How to Master Your Muck, Add Space to Your Life, Live Your Purpose, and Get Organized. And I feel that if you have space in your life, you can actually thrive. And muck is anything that makes you feel stuck or unable to move forward. So what I did with the book was each chapter is a different part of muck that we experience as entrepreneurs. So it could be your database. You don't even have one, or it doesn't work. It could be time management, your goal setting. Papers are overwhelming your workspace. Okay. So it's no one reads a whole book, right? I know this, even though I devour books. We rarely will read books. So each chapter you can go into and just figure out where you want to start, basically.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. I love it. Well, this, as we mentioned, this is such a great type of book and gift to do during the holidays because we're often home a little bit more than usual, and we're starting to think about planning for 2022. We've got New Year's goals, and to start with literally a clean slate where you clean your space both in your mind and your surroundings, I think is a fantastic choice for people to do. So take advantage of Kathy's gift.
Head on over to jvologygiveway.com to get your hands on Kathy's gift. Victoria has already put the chat down in the comments. Wherever you may be watching this video, you should be able to see that link right there. And before we let you go, Kathy, we love to get to know our contributors just a little bit better. So is it okay if we ask you a fun question?
Oh, yes, I'm ready. Maybe.
Okay, here's the question. If you found a time machine, would you go forward in time or backward in time, and why?
I would go forward in time. And the reason being is I cannot wait to get rid of all the concrete in this world. And I want to fly a hovercraft and have all the bunny rabbits and birds and bees on the ground, not getting ran over. Not the bees. Well, bees do get ran over. I ran over one. But I'd like to do the hovercraft thing, ditch the concrete. We don't need it. Grow the grass, grow the trees, and just zoom around like the Jetsons.
Yes, that's a lovely answer. And I'm all about science fiction and the Jetsons. So
I love
that's
the Jetsons
awesome,
too.
right? Who doesn't? Monsters. So thank you again so much, Kathy, for coming. We hope you have a great rest of your day and a great holiday season.
Thank you so much, ladies. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone.
Thanks, Kathy. You too. Oh, that's such a great gift. It's with 7 simple steps. Get it done. Get that space cleared out, or even after Christmas when you're undecorating. That's a great time to see like what else can go and get a nice, clear, clean space for your office, your home, everything for the new year.
Definitely. I liked how you put that too, Krista, where you're starting out the new year with a cleared mind and a cleared space. And I feel like we could all use a good new year. I feel like the last 2 years were a little bumpy for a lot of people. We could use a good, fresh, clean slate going into 2022.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, are you ready for us to bring on our next special guest? We
Absolutely.
have Reverend Kathleen Panning is joining us once again. Kathleen's been an amazing member of JVology for quite some time, and I'm super happy to have you joining us, Kathleen.
Oh, hold on a second, Kathleen, you're muted. There There you
It
are.
is great to be back. Having a muted mic here for a moment. But it's always great to be with you too.
Yeah.
Super. So give everyone just a little rundown about what you're up to and who you are, so the right people can pay attention and really tune in.
Yeah. Well, I am a retired pastor, but the people I'm working with now mostly are women in leadership positions. So maybe you're in a faith community in a faith leadership position, but any kind of leadership position for you as a woman, that those are the people I'm most working with. But that doesn't mean I would, you know, say no to some of the men as well, but typically with women. And what I'm doing is helping people learn to be able to tell their own story and how that impacts their mission and their ministry. And that's all part of communication. And whether you're in business, whether you're in ministry, even in your own family, learning how to communicate better is always a good thing. So
Absolutely, especially right now, like Krista just mentioned, this is the holiday season. We're spending a little bit more time at home, and we're also spending a little bit more time with our loved ones. And loved ones can be the biggest challenge that we have because they know us so well, we know them so well, and it can just kind of lead to some conflict, especially during the holidays when you got all the relatives. So I really think this is a perfect timing for this gift of effective communication.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
And Kathleen, I would love to hear what you. Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just go ahead with your question.
We've got a little bit of a delay, I think.
Okay. I wanted to get to open up what your gift is so we can kind of angle the conversation about on what you have to offer our guests at the JVology holiday giveaway.
Yeah, it's actually a 3-part gift. The first part is it's called a leadership bundle, but the first 2 parts are mini courses. And the first one is a little course about communication and 7 little lessons to help us learn, like you were talking about, Charisse, communicate better with one another, including with our family and our relatives at this time of the year. And there's simple little things to learn, short little lessons, but how often do we really listen these days when we're not multitasking, doing 16 other things and on our phones and really listening? And what does that really look like? And then there's one of my favorites is taking the word make out of our relationships. Instead of you make me so angry, or you make me so frustrated, or even you make me happy. Yes, other people's behavior and words and feelings do impact us, but to say they make me something means I don't have the respondability to really choose how I'm going to respond. And to take that word out and say, I'm angry when you say such a thing or do such a thing, or I'm hurt by that, then I have control over my feelings and how I'm going to respond. And even when I say, I love what you're doing, instead of saying, you make me happy, but it gives me the respondability to respond like that. And then the second, that's just 2 of the little lessons in there. And then the second gift is what I call parables from nature. And these are not religious parables, but they're little wise sayings that I've heard and read from other people, and extrapolating on them, expanding on them as to what they mean and how they've impacted me. And so they may be a little spiritual at times, but they're not specific to any religion, if they are. And I'll give you a little clue. One of them has to do with ants, not the relatives, but the little insects that crawl around sometimes, and how they can help us along the way. And then the third part of the gift is actually a 15-minute laser coaching conversation with me. And it's purely coaching, no sales, no offers, none of that. purely coaching just for you.
So for that 15-minute coaching session, first of all, this gift is amazing. It's a 3-in-1 gift. It's a bundle, which is really special. I think this is the first bundle we've had so far during the giveaway. But for that 15-minute coaching session, I'm curious, what kind of results can people expect in 15 minutes? What's kind of the point or goal of those sessions, of those like laser coaching sessions?
Well, if somebody's laser focused on one issue and one problem, and we distill it down to one point, it's amazing what can happen in 15 minutes. We can make a lot of progress, a new realization about something we heard or how we're responding to someone, a little bit of like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Any of those kinds of things bring new life, new freedom, and new possibilities to us. So even in 15 minutes, it doesn't have to take forever to make some progress. It can be short little
That's so
tidbits.
true. So true. And I like how you focused all of your gifts around leadership. So, keeping that coaching session about how to be a better leader and what that might mean to you. Or that's a really, really generous gift, Kathleen. I appreciate it.
So,
Thank you.
Go ahead. Sorry, Krista.
Yeah, you got it. Take it away.
So, okay, we've talked a little bit about your gift. We've talked about the type of person you love working with. Can you talk a little bit more about your backstory, how you went from being a leader in a faith community to talking about leadership with business owners? How did that connection happen?
Well, being a leader in a faith community is a lot like being a leader anywhere. And faith communities are a lot like a business. No, I'm not selling a product and, that kind of thing. It's not like buy this, buy that type of sales. But every faith leader, I often say, we are in sales. We're offering the message, the ministry that's there, and asking people to invest their time, their energy, their faith into that kind of thing as well. And so to be a leader in a faith community, many of the people who are leaders within their faith community are also people who are leaders in business. And so to bring that faith with them into business, but I don't specifically do that, but there are values that we can all bring into business that we may have from a faith community. And so, it seems like an easy, natural progression to do that, for me at least. And I've worked with so many wonderful people in congregations over the years that, helping other business leaders with some of those challenges, to me, is just a natural progression.
I love that. And I love that there's this integration, right? There's a whole person. And that's what's really cool about the JVology giveaway in general. It's not just business for business sake, but it also takes into account your personal development, your health and wellness, your relationships, the other things that make up a whole human and that also obviously impact your business. So Kathleen, thank you so much for coming and sharing about your gift and your passion, your backstory. Before we let you go and bring on the next contributor, can we ask you a fun question?
Of course. Of course.
By the way, you got a shout out in the chat. Loving your energy.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question is, if you had to eat one meal every day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, one meal. Just, I'm not sure if you're asking for one kind of food or which meal of the day, but if I had to choose one food I'd want every single day, it's something that I always keep around by me.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
And dark chocolate. Now, I wouldn't make a whole meal out of that, mind you, but I do love to have good dark chocolate every single day. So,
Well, good for you. That is a great answer. And I hope you get lots of chocolate for Christmas and get to enjoy some fun treats.
Thank you. Thank
Well, great.
you. Blessings to each and every one of you and to all of the people in the JVology community and who are watching.
Oh, thanks so much, Kathleen. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time.
I love Kathleen. She's so great.
She's so great.
She's so great. And speaking of great, we have another great contributor already waiting backstage. We're going to go ahead and bring her on stage, and we're going to say welcome to the JVology giveaway to Corey. Hi, welcome.
Hi, you guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
We can hear you. We
Okay.
can see you.
Corey.
Everything is good.
It's so great to see you. It's been way too long.
I know. And I moved to Raleigh now.
Oh my goodness. Well, then next time I'm up visiting North Carolina, we'll have to come see you.
You have to catch up.
Welcome. Thank you so much for participating again in the JVology giveaway. It is a holiday season and you have so much going on. Why don't you share with our audience what you're up to and what you do, please, Corey?
So hi, you guys. Hi, Sharice. So I'm a business strategist and coach, and I've been working for years helping people find their God-given gifts and then build their businesses around those gifts. And I'm sort of expanding into a couple of new things now. So I generally work with entrepreneurs, but the new project that I'm working on is built around self-concept, because one of the things that I noticed after 5 or 6 years of helping people find their God-given gifts is that even when people find their God-given gifts, for some people, their self-concept is not big enough to house the call on their lives, right? So what they experience that as, I can't find my gift. But the truth is sometimes you found your gift, you just don't believe it, or you don't accept it, or you don't see how it's possible for you to do that. So I'm incorporating some more work now around self-concept, because your self-concept has to be big enough to house the dreams that you have for yourself. If not, you can't reach them.
So on that note, does that directly connect with the type of gift that you've created for this giveaway?
Yeah. So
Okay.
What I'm giving away to subscribers now is it's a mini course. It's called Self-Concept RX, Self-Concept Prescription or Cure, or however you want to read that. And it's an introduction to a framework that I've created where in 7 days we get people to look at where their life is not working. And anytime your life is not working in any area, it's because there's a self-concept misalignment there. So I get them started on the process of identifying and then realigning their self-concept, expanding their self-concept to include whatever it is that they want to do with their lives or their relationships or their business or their health or whatever it is. So that's...
I'm really excited about this kind of new direction that you're going in, because I know you were like, "Ooh, I got a new gift," and I always love new gifts. So a couple of things you just said that I'm a little curious about. You said alignment, and then you said expansion. So you're saying this gift does both for people in their self-concept.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do in a mini course, but it definitely gets you started. It definitely introduces you to some of the tools. A lot of times, so let me start by saying what your self-concept is, because I think when people hear self-concept, they think self-esteem, they think self-worth, they think self-confidence. It's not that. It's bigger than that. Your self-concept fundamentally answers the question, who do you think you are? What do you believe about yourself? What's possible for you? And what's available to you in the world? And it basically shapes the box that you have around your life. Now, your self-concept can be really strong in some areas and weak in other areas, right? And so the only thing keeping you from, right, we see people doing the things that we want to do. We believe that we can do them, but for whatever reason, we're not doing them. And it's because there's a self-concept, like you on an unconscious level, you don't really believe that that is for you. You don't really believe that you can have that. So when you expand what you believe is possible for you, suddenly it includes all these things that were on the periphery of your life, right? That you saw, you felt intellectually, you felt like I should be able to do this, but for whatever reason you weren't. So that's what this does. And when I say a misalignment, it just means that the dream is big and your self-concept is smaller in that particular area of your life. So when you get the size of your dream and your self-concept in sync, you get them aligned, then suddenly you can do the things that were sort of previously on the periphery.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you so much for explaining that in greater detail, because it is very different from self-esteem or other examples of self that we're more used to. And you doing high level work with JVology, he talks about expanding your container. And that's just what this is reminding me of. We can have the dreams, but if the dream doesn't fit in the container that we hold ourselves in at the moment, it's going to be either, misalignment. It somehow is not going to work. So as this expansion into who you are is just beautiful. And for you to be able to guide people to do that, Corey, is so necessary.
Yeah, and the thing is, when we're confronted with that misalignment, you have two choices. You can either shrink the dream, shrink the goal to fit into your existing box, or you can expand the box. And you're right, Jay Facette does talk about this. And to be honest, anybody who is succeeding in business and coaching, and I fought this for a long time, right? I fought the kind of mindset piece behind the work that I was doing. But when you start seeing people whose gifts are so clear to you as an outsider looking in, but to them, they can't see it, they can't do it, they can't find it, or they say it is their gift, but they're not doing it. Suddenly the mindset work is, you see how important it is. It's absolutely critical. But that really is your choice. Either you shrink the dream or you expand the container. And most of us live in a place of shrunken dreams. So I want to help people
settle, right? They just kind of settle and little by little start to give up on what these big things are. And it's like, oh, I guess I'm just fine here. But
or we busy ourselves with other things that are inside of our container, right? We distract ourselves with the things that, well, I know I can do this if nothing else, right? I know, right? Because our self-concept, like I said, it can be strong in some areas and weak in others. So you focus on the areas where your self-concept is strong. And sometimes those are the littler things. And you ignore the place where your real dream and your real calling is, because you don't know how to expand the box. So that's what this program does. It helps people.
Well, give us a quick refresher on the gift.
Okay.
Somebody didn't hear it the first time.
It's the Self-Concept RX. It's a mini course that I've done. My audience loves mini courses. I've had great success with mini courses, so I love this format. It's a 7-day mini course where it introduces the audience to a couple of tools. It introduces them to the concept of self-concept, some tools to work on expanding. It talks about how to know what your self-concept is, because that's another piece. Sometimes you know that an area of your life is not working, but you can't connect it to a limited self-concept. And so this program helps them figure out what exactly is the self-concept here that's creating this result in my life that I no longer want.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Corey. Everyone out there, grab that. And we all want to know more about ourselves so that we can move forward more powerfully. And Charisse, would you like to give Corey the cool, fun question?
Yes, Corey, we have a fun question for you to just help everybody get to know you a little bit better. So your question is, would you rather live in the ocean or on the moon?
I would rather live in the ocean, assuming I have something to float on.
So you'd rather live on the ocean.
You can actually breathe underwater. If you can survive underwater, not just bob on the surface.
We're going to assume you could survive in either environment. Whatever materials are required, you could survive on the moon or survive in the ocean.
I'm going to say in the ocean. I'm going to say in the ocean because there I think I would have something to eat. I'm not sure if there's any food yet on the moon. But I get hungry, so I'm gonna go to the ocean.
And I love seafood. So Corey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for sharing your gift and letting us know a little bit more about self-concept. If you want to get your hands on Corey's gift, head on over to JVologyGiveaway.com to grab her gift and any other amazing gift that's available for you today. Corey, thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day and have a great holiday season.
You too. Thanks, you guys. See you later.
Bye. That's the type of work I love doing. And I've done a lot of this expansion work with Jay. Like I was talking about that you have the container and then you have to stretch. And I've been challenged to take these stretches that open up the container so that's how we grow. That's how we grow. And yes, it can be uncomfortable, but I think it's more uncomfortable to give up and play it small.
You know, that what you just said is the exact conversation I had last night with our next contributor. That
was a perfect transition if ever there was one.
Exactly. We didn't plan that, but welcome to the stage, Art.
Hey, welcome. Wonderful to be with two incredible women. This is a real pleasure.
Thanks, Art. Great to see you again.
Good to see you both.
So we were literally just talking about this, what you just said about just kind of expanding your vision and your container. Art, we know how great you are, but I would love for you to tell the entire JVology community a little bit more about yourself. What do? What's your zone of genius?
My superpower is clearing energetic, unconscious, and spiritual blocks in other people and opening up their superpowers. So my superpower is connecting people more with their spirit, with their inner wisdom, and the miraculous abilities that we were all born with.
Yeah, tell us more about how you, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, great. Tell us more about kind of how you go about doing that, because you do it in a little bit of a unique way than maybe people have heard of before.
Let me just, I'm fuzzing out of focus here. Let me see if I can fix it. There we go. Yeah, so I'm the creator of energetic NLP, and NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And if people haven't heard of it, they've heard of the most famous person in the field, who's Tony Robbins. And he has his own rah-rah way that he does things. But the core of his power to transform people's lives comes from his training in NLP. I combine that with spiritual principles, healing and transformative energy work, intuition development, clairvoyance, and everything else I've learned over the last 40 years to create energetic NLP. And when I work with people, we do logical, energetic NLP processes, but we do the more miraculous energy work that under the guidance of their own spirit and inner wisdom creates incredible changes in people.
Oh, and you really do some amazing work.
Oh, thank you.
I've been able to experience it, following your journey and your path, and seeing how many people that you are able to influence and affect all around the world. What are some of the most, like, the benefits that you've seen people get that just make you look so excited? You're like, oh my gosh, what a transformation this person had. Can you share an example with us?
Yeah, I mean, on one level, I could point out the problems people solve, and they have, they go from having, difficulties with their self-esteem to having high self-esteem and more success, more love. But really, the part of it that I really enjoy the most is most people are so serious about their personal and spiritual development. And in energetic NLP, we do the opposite. We think if you're light and you're playful, your natural spirit emerges. So I love taking people that have been so serious about everything and trying to do it right and trying to reach perfection, and just showing them how that by having fun, by letting their spirit flow, letting their inner wisdom flow, they can incredibly change their lives. And, some of them, have incredible financial turnarounds. I'm not guaranteeing that, but many of them do. Changes in their love life, their relationships, but definitely their relationship to themselves. The other thing that I think is super important is that, I think a lot of people in spiritual development are trying to bulletproof their lives and not have challenges. There's always going to be challenges in life. And what I love is that people, even when they go through some of the biggest life challenges, they feel guided, they feel supported, they know that there's incredible help available to them. And so that no matter what's going on, they feel solid underneath it. And then the other part of it, of course, is by clearing your spiritual and unconscious and energetic blocks, a lot of those challenges don't need to happen. So it's both lessening them, but if they do happen, knowing that you'll not just get through everything in your life, but you'll get through it to an incredible place.
Yeah, and I feel like challenges help us grow. So they don't always have to be something that is like terrible or devastating. It can be something that helps us grow. And you mentioned Tony Robbins. He talks about the quality of your challenges can improve, right? You can have higher quality problems, better problems, which it's like, if you're going to have problems anyways, might as well have some high quality ones.
Yeah, I always tell people boredom is very, I'm rarely bored. And when I get bored with my old problems, I go, okay, I want new, more interesting problems. I'm bored with the old ones.
Right, because you at some point you would like to solve them and move on to new ones.
Yes, that's
So
a
coming
very
from
good
a
point.
different higher level, you can like, all right, I can solve this one. I've got some, I've risen above. I can see it in new eyes. I'm going to solve this problem and keep challenging yourself. And as you expand, then yeah, the problems are going to
Change.
change.
Absolutely. And I don't mean being bored by them is that you put up with them. It's by being, okay, I'm dealing with this because it's like, I'm bored of thinking about it at this point. So it's time to heal it, move on. And the other thing is almost all challenges and problems, there's something in there that was part of your spiritual development, but part of the problem is all this energetic and unconscious programming. So sometimes long after you've gotten out of it, whatever you were spiritually going to get out of it, it's still just cranking along. And that's where both NLP and the energy work can just take it apart. A lot of the biggest problems people have in their lives, they're really done with it. They just don't know how to turn it off. It's still running.
It's kind of like a comfort zone thing, right?
Well, even more, it's almost like we have these little like energy machines. They're almost like little computers. They're just running the program, and our unconscious is the same. And a lot of times, whatever the purpose is, was long over.
Right.
And so that's why very often the spirit and the unconscious mind are quite willing to change it, because you're done with it. It's just how do you disrupt the old programming, and replace it, which is actually not, most of the time is quite easy.
Well, it's easy when you have good guidance like you're able to do for people,
right.
but most people don't have the awareness or the tools on how to do that. And they do find themselves somehow unhappy, unsatisfied, and not even knowing why. And I think it does often tie to the fact that the problem was solved, yet they didn't change as a person to now be the person who's in the solved problem. They're still holding the pattern of the discomfort, the story, the repeating the conversation that was had that had them wronged, and it actually amplifies and makes it worse.
Oh, absolutely.
It helps break that.
Yeah, and that we all get blind to our own blind spots. And in energetic NLP, we're following two paths. One is to be able to do more for yourself, and the other is to have a community that helps you, just like JVology is. That it's you're stuck with a business problem, and I could call Krista, Charisse, and they'd probably go, like Charisse did a clubhouse room once, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. And she goes, oh, we'll call it this. Here's the description. And it was, I would have spent hours figuring that out.
Yeah, that was really funny. He was like, what do you think we should call it? I was like, we'll just call it this. We'll just describe it like this. Let's do it. Okay, it's set. Here's the link. And you were just like, wait, how'd you do that? I was just like, I don't know, but we're not spending more than 3 minutes on this. Like, we're going to move forward.
I need to obsess about it. So yes, it's both an energetic and we have a phenomenal community. Again, it's similar to JVology and really wonderful, talented people, only they with these incredible energy skills. So that when we're stuck, we help each other. But so we're both learn how to get ourselves unstuck. But when that's hard or difficult, we can call somebody up or even put on our Facebook page like, okay, somebody help me with this, and people just do it.
Art, something you said last night. Last night, me and Art had a session, and it was super helpful. One of the things you said to me last night was about like what you just mentioned about community. You said like you can be very intelligent, and I'm speaking to you type A people who are just like me. It's like if you could think your way out of the challenge, you would have done it by now. If that was possible, you would have already done it because you think through things. But if it's a different kind of challenge, maybe an energetic challenge, you can't just think through it. And you need some outside guidance and support to guide you through it and to help you. And so that's kind of where your gift comes in, right?
What a great lead in. Yes. So my gift is this online called the Blockbuster Program. And it was something that I recorded that I did live with people. And for those of you that are new to energetic NLP, the recordings, the energy, if you pretend they're happening while you're listening to them, or watching them, you'll access the energy. I mean, it'll be right there as if it was live. And the program takes you through clearing unconscious blocks, energetic blocks, karma. It works on what we call whole being permission, which is aligning your spirit, your soul, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, your body, your karma, and spiritual contracts, so that you're able to, because a lot of times the reason we can't achieve things in life is our conscious mind wants one thing, our soul wants something else, our unconscious mind wants 3 different things, or our karma won't allow it, our spiritual contracts. So we work on all of those to create this whole being permission so that you can really take your life to a whole different level. And it's easy, it's fun. What people will learn how to do is to put their own spirit and wisdom in charge. So my job is getting the energy, introducing concepts and making the energy flow. But the listener, your spirit, your wisdom will be in charge of what happens for you, which is something we really believe in energetic NLP.
And what's really special about that is that you are the guide, but you're more like the facilitator, helping the guide to guide the person. And that's kind of unique, especially in the space of coaching just in general, because, we are usually the guides who are helping our clients or our customers go from point A to point B. But to kind of put the control back in the hands of your client to say, I'm going to facilitate your own inner knowledge, inner wisdom to guide you is really special, because that's somebody that we keep with us all the time, wherever we go. And we don't need a phone call or an email, to reconnect. We may need some facilitation to reconnect, but we've got that internal guidance, which I think is just really, really special.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's one of the things I really treasure, because, it's not for me to tell somebody else how their life should be. In my great wisdom. I mean, I've been a life and executive coach for 40 years. So I do. And at times I'll tell people, okay, I'm giving advice now because as a coach, but most of the time, when I train people in energetic NLP, I tell them their spirit's going to tell your spirit, which is going to tell your conscious mind what to do, and so we just are guided in what their spirit wants for their personality. And it just makes it so that it really fits the other person. So I'm not cloning people into my version of how they should be. It's like, I think of it as like they're flowers and I'm helping them blossom.
Oh,
that's beautiful. There's so much that comes out of helping someone tap into their inner awareness, their inner guidance, their inner strength. And a lot of people don't even know what they're capable of, because they're just always looking outside of themselves and looking elsewhere and all the noise that happens in society. And so for you to help guide people into that inner knowing and what that looks like, it's a skill that has to be developed, and an awareness that needs to be brought to one's attention and then kept there. And then that confidence to trust yourself, to move forward with it.
So speaking of those people, is there any specific type of person that works really, really well with you, that's somebody that you love to work with? Obviously, you can work with everybody, but is there a specific type of person?
Well, some people work with me because they're being driven by some problem in their lives. But what all of them share in common, whether their life is really good or really having big problems, they're all, like I say, they're all like flowers. They know that they can blossom. They can know they can grow towards the light. They sense. And I've had people in my programs who've been doing energy work for 30 years and personal development, and they've accomplished a lot. But I think it fits all three of us. We're all people that we're all going, what's next? I know I have more potential. And what's great is when you start doing that, not because I'm not okay the way I am, but it's more like when you look at really young children, the way they don't learn to walk because they think there's something wrong with them. But they know they've got this potential and they want to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And everybody in my programs, on some level, there's just that inner child going, what can I do now? Okay, now I can tell time, I can walk. What can I do next? And that's what unites all of them. Probably 80% are women, usually about 38 to 65, but there are men, there are younger and older people, but they all have this drive to this sense there's just so much more potential, and they want to bring it out into the world to contribute to the world and just for their own enjoyment and satisfaction.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here, Art. Thank you for sharing your gift with our community. So if any of this is sounding interesting to you and you want to learn how to tap in, then be sure to find Art Geiser's gift, which is in our personal development section, right in the link that is here wherever you're seeing the video. Teresa, do we have time for just a super quick question and
I
get
think
Art's
so.
answer?
Yes. Okay, so here's your fun question, Art, so people can get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
You have to sing karaoke. What song would you pick? You don't actually have to sing it right now. What song would you pick if you had to?
Well, if I can tell a quick story, I was teaching in Brazil, and my translator and a few of the participants and I were doing karaoke, and there's a song, Bad Moon Rising, and it was one of the few in English, and I'm singing it, and if you don't know the song, it's really upbeat, but the words are terrible. It's all about all this, but nobody listens to the words. It's there's a bad moon, it's very upbeat, and my translator is singing along with me in the middle. He goes, "These are terrible lyrics." But the next day, I see him walking down the hallway, and he's going, "There's a bad moon."
Oh, fun. That's great. Well, thanks, guys. All right. It was a pleasure to have you on our show, and look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Well, thank you. You're wonderful interviewers, and thank you very much.
Bye, Art.
Join JVology. It's great.
Agreed. Yes. So with that being said, we have our last but not least contributor of the day for day 2, bringing her up on stage. We want to say hello and welcome to Catherine. Hello and welcome to Catherine.
Yay! There it is.
And the drum roll.
Hey, Catherine, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great. Pleasure to have you joining our JVology holiday giveaway. I know you were just participated in our last JVology Live, and so glad to have you just jump in and share your gifts right here with our audience. So tell us what you do.
That's a great question, Krista. Thank you. So I help entrepreneurs get more clients and keep them longer by developing and implementing quiz funnels, and how to teach them how to actually create those quiz questions and the reports that has everyone thinking that you're a mind reader.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into that.
That's a great question. So I actually spent the last 25 years in corporate doing market research and consumer insights. So I have been developing surveys and quizzes and assessments and applications for the last 25 years. And I've just recently taken that from corporate and kind of portering it over to entrepreneurs and helping them build their lists and grow their audiences.
All right. Well, I know Charisse knows a lot about quizzes and using them, and I think that they're fantastic. Take it away, Charisse. Come on.
Yes.
Let's get some quiz conversations going here.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the fact that you work on quizzes, because lead magnets are so important when it comes to growing our email list. And if you have any part of your business, if you have a business at all, you need an email list. I don't care if it's an online business, an in-person business, you need an email list so you can reach your people. Well, doing quizzes, I think, is the most powerful way to grow that email list. So I want to know from you, Catherine, how is your method or strategy different from maybe other people's? Because I think when people, or maybe what are some of the common mistakes or misconceptions? Because I think people think quizzes are you just come up with a bunch of questions and you maybe put some cute pictures on them, and then suddenly your email list will explode.
Yeah, I think that that what people miss out on is everyone spends all the time up front on the quiz question, the quiz hook, and on the back on the report, and it's the middle part that people tend to forget about. So, you just throw in a bunch of questions and expect, miracles to happen at the end without a really strong roadmap, because the quiz really should be helping your ideal customer from their problem to your solution. And it should be a roadmap and a guided tour, if you will, around the questions, the obstacles, and the priorities that people have. So it takes a little bit of heavy lifting up at the front. And I think that what I concentrate on and what I've been doing the last 25 years is really ensuring that the art and the science meet when it comes to actually developing questions that A, make sense, B, don't sound like you're trying to do the census, and C, get people excited and educate them about what you're going to be offering them at the end of the quiz.
So that's really great. I like the idea of focusing on the question themselves so that it sounds interesting for the person taking it, that they enjoy the process and they're finding something else about them. And you're right that it doesn't just sound like you're trying to get market research to benefit you. You want them, the person taking it, to feel like it's benefiting them. And that's got to be well worded.
Absolutely, and well thought out. And so that's where the kind of the journey, the roadmap, like, the destination is your offer, and you just reverse engineer that so that you look like the hero at the end by giving people the added value where you're actually navigating them to. So you look like the magician, and everyone gets a little bit out of it.
So I love that you describe a quiz as a customer journey. It's not just questions just to get people's email addresses, but it's a whole journey. Can you tell us more about your gift and how you have, I know, a special little bonus for certain people to enhance their customer's journey?
Yeah, so what I did was I put together, kind of the top 5 strategies around growing your audience with quizzes. So talk a little bit about the quiz hook, talk a little bit about segmentation and profiles, about the aha moment and reports. So it's kind of a condensed version of the last 25 years, if you will, of some tips and tricks learned along the way. And for those lucky first 20 people that actually do have a quiz, send me your link and I will review it for free and give you feedback so that you can increase your engagement and your conversion rates. So that's for the first 20 people that send me their quiz links. So get right on that.
That's so exciting. And I'm definitely going to jump in on your gift because I do have a quiz and I would love to turn it into a better experience of a customer journey. So I think that's really exciting. And if you are trying to grow your email list, definitely go and grab Catherine's gift. Go to jvolegygiveaway.com and get Catherine's gift because quizzes are such an epic way to grow your list. And Catherine really has a unique way to create your quiz to make it extra effective. And actually, speaking of that, what type of person should get your gift? Obviously, everybody can make a quiz, but is there any particular type of person that works really, really well with you or that you work really, really well with?
Yeah, so hitting the ground running with a quiz means that you probably already have an offer really nailed down as well as your ideal customer target. So you really understand, you've done your market research around what their problems are and what's keeping them up at night, because those are the people that you really want to attract. If you're going to put all this effort into a quiz, you want to make sure you're only talking to the people that can actually benefit from it. So, people that are really dialed into both like the people that they're talking to, but also their end offer that they're driving to, that makes it a lot easier to put the points together.
Excellent. Well, we have people like that are watching, that are getting this list. And so I encourage you to go and find Catherine's gift, find out how to implement quizzes or make yours better. And it's a wonderful lead magnet. It's also giving you some great insights as well on your customer and making them feel engaged and heard, and the best way to go.
Yeah, so, it's a great way to build your authority, trust, and respect with questions and answers that prove yourself as the subject matter expert. So, inject your personality, inject your intelligence, and that will definitely help you along the way to kickstart your 2020.
Yeah, and I love this comment that you have this way to make it effective and fun and actually build a relationship with your ideal customers or clients, which is awesome. Like, isn't that what we all want? So Catherine, thank you so much for coming and sharing about your gift. Before we let you go, though, we would love to ask a fun question to help our community get to know you better. So can we ask you a fun question?
Absolutely.
Okay, not sure if this is going to be easy or hard, but the question is, who was your childhood actor or actress crush?
Oh, you know what? I was a big Outsiders fan. So Pony Boy, so Thomas C. Howell was my big crush. I had the posters and the, like everything, the whole thing. And now he plays all bad guys all over the place. So it's a little weird. But
like
yeah,
bad guys, now we know.
Yeah. So yeah, that was definitely, it was all about the Outsiders and that era.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, fun. Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Wishing you a very happy holiday, and thank you for sharing your gifts with the JVology community and our friends.
Great. Happy to have been lucky last.
Bye, Catherine.
All right. Well, another fun and successful day in the books. We appreciate everyone who's tuning in and encourage you to use either the link that's here in the the group, or if you were if a friend has shared a link with you via their email, if they're a contributor, then use their link. That would be helpful as well. As this is all about joint ventures, and that way we can see who's sharing, where you came from, and that's just a part of the giving. And then just so you know, when you do go into this gift giveaway, yes, you're going to enter your email just to access the gifts, but then you get to select the ones that are right for you. So you have total control. You can browse through and select as many as you like, but just select the ones that are going to be meaningful, that you'll be able to take the time to enjoy. But remember, you're only going to be getting the ones that you choose, so you have all the control in that. What do you have to say, Cherise?
Well, I'm excited that we finished day 2. Because that means we have day 3 coming tomorrow, which is going to be even more contributors. And it's amazing. Every gift, when you read it on paper, looks like one thing where you're like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then when you talk to the contributor, it's like another thing. And you're like, oh, there's so many layers and depths, and there's so many, the different results you can get from it. So it always is really interesting to me and exciting to talk to the different contributors. So we're going to say goodbye to day 2, and tomorrow, hello to day 3 of our JVology holiday giveaway.
So join us tomorrow, same place you're viewing this, and look forward to bringing more experts to you to help make your holidays bright. We'll see you later. Thanks, everybody.